Hello and welcome to the week ahead card spread for the week of April 20th through 26th. So I've already drawn all my cards. I have not looked at them yet, but the first few days are from the Moonology Manifestation Oracle Deck. Then we have the Moonchild Tarot Deck, and finally the Moon Deck, also Oracle cards. Last quarter moon in Pisces, talk less, feel more. The main thing that's coming in for me right away is it's about living more simply. So it's not even about the talking literally, which it may be that is the case for you. Talking less, meaning it could be you're even writing less. It's social media, like your presence and what your output is less. But that seems more intrinsically tied to living a more simple, streamlined, very much present existence. Yeah, and feeling more. So you could, Pisces, connect to your intuition. You could, last quarter moon, reflect, thinking about where you're at, where you have been. So when you have the last quarter, it means that we just had a full moon, which was a culmination point. So you're looking back at what you did accomplish relative to that. And then the question you keep asking is, how can I live more simply? So on Monday, we have Saturn entering its pre-shadow period. So that is in Aries. It entered Aries on February 13th. You can look back at my YouTube video on that. But it's about streamlining. Saturn is always about trimming, so talking less, simplifying, living in a more streamlined way. That is so Saturn. The pre-shadow is a period of reflection. It means we're preparing for Saturn to station retrograde at a future date, but it's gearing up, and these are going to be degree points, areas of our chart that we're going to reflect on 3 times. The moon is in Gemini. Hilarious. Talking less, talking. That's very Gemini. New moon in Cancer, relax. So we have 2 water elements. This is now early phase. So if we're looking at the 4 phases in this deck, we have last quarter, and then what comes after last quarter is a new moon. This is the starting of the new cycle. So on Monday, we are saying, how can I live more simply? Slowing down, decreasing our output, and then we're relaxing. Now we're really, really stepping back. We're settling in. It feels like we're in the pocket of our energy. Yeah, it feels like it's cross-legged, it's hammock, it's cuddled up with a book, tea, blanket, unwinding. Feels like we're really going analog this week. The moon is in Cancer on this day, and it will be there also on Wednesday, and there's no new astrology on Wednesday. It'll just be status quo. This is from the Moonchild Tarot Deck. We have, okay, theme is strong this week. Can't wait to see this one. So we have the Hierophant. So this is, let me try to do it over here. This person, it's hard to see because it's lit up so much, but their third eye is completely lit up. This is a very intuitively connected, wise, spiritual guide. Sometimes if this card shows up, it's signaling like you have a mentor or somebody that is presented to you. But yes, we have a very strong storyline of Pisces to Cancer to the Hierophant. This is very, very intuitive, very spiritual, very connected to what is going on. Lessons being learned. That's the emphasis on this Wednesday. So we're slowing down. Our output is less. We're settling in. We're opening up these energetic channels of connection, opening up to receiving wisdom, guidance, next steps. Thursday, we have 3 of Pentacles. So we finally switched because our visual and our color palette was very, very strong. All the colors are similar, and we have water present in all of them. Now we are on Pentacles, which is the Earth sign. Even though this card is pink and orange, this is Earth energy. 3 of Pentacles, there's a bunch of ladies in here dancing. This is celebration. This is connection. And whenever you have a 3, this is the most secure shape. It's the triangle, so it's balanced. There's this feeling of unity that happens. That's why they all have their hands together, tied in joyful. So this could be something, it feels like then what you're receiving. So you are receiving wisdom here, connection, information, insights, maybe a person that is coming to you. And then we get to Thursday, and now we could receive maybe literal monetary, but it also feels like it could be material. It's something that for some people you could be choosing to buy. So it's something that you learn and you're deciding, you know what, this is going to be a tool that's going to help me, even if it's to help you relax, even if it's to help you disconnect from social media and technology and go a little bit more analog. Whatever that is, the purpose of it is to bring you this joy, because that's what we're sitting and we're trying to relax, we're connecting, but in a way that allows us to feel much more grounded and at peace and lighter. Even though this is earth and we might think of it as weighty, it's actually having us feel lighter. And then what do we have astrologically on Thursday? Oh my gosh, this is perfect. We have Moon in Leo, which is so joyful, so fun, so playful. So no wonder we have this messaging. This actually looks like more of a Leo coded card than what we've had previously. There's so much gold all over it. It's screaming Leo. And then we have very big transit. So we have a sequence here, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I included these in my March weather report. So I have part 1, which was on Mars and Mercury. Part 2 is on Venus and Uranus. And this is the sequence number 2, the 23rd through the 25th. So on that Thursday, we have the Venus-Uranus conjunction in Earth sign Taurus. So this makes a lot of sense. It's about change, changing our sense of joy, changing our sense of pleasure, our connections, our creativity. This becomes a turning point, a pivot. Maybe our relationship with change is adjusting, but we are approaching it in a way that is that Leo energy infused, that it is lighter. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, we're back with our color scheme here. We have the universe card. So this is major arcana. This is sometimes referred to as the world or the universe, depending on the deck that you are looking at. And this is, she's holding the globe. She's connected to everything. This is really understanding the big picture. This is understanding the why. So earlier in the week, on Monday, we were being asked to ask ourselves the question, how can I live more simply? And then we get to Friday, and now we're asking, how can I live more in connection with the global sphere and source energy? So now that we've stripped things away, we have less of an output. We're more relaxed. We're receptive. We have insights coming in. We are shifting our values. We're shifting our relationship to change with connection. We're priming ourselves over the course of this week to connect to joy. And now we're connecting to the highest vibrational energy, the universe, everything, that we are all connected, that we are all on this energetic plane, this frequency, which often contains joy, relaxation. It's like the flow state. That's what we're going for here. When we're connecting to the universe, source energy, it's how can I just live my entire life in flow? That's a big question. How can I live more simply, to all of a sudden a few days later, how can I live my whole life in flow? What changes do I need to make? On Friday, we have Venus entering Gemini. So we had the Venus-Uranus conjunction, then just over the turn of the calendar page, we have Venus entering Gemini, which is about our communication. It is a call for us to recalibrate how we are connecting with each other, with our speech, our knowledge, our studies, information systems. Gemini is Mercury ruled, so there's a lot of the transportation, the exchange, the here to there. And yes, being able to study, understand, it doesn't feel in this case like it's literal. We're not like, let's study the universe, but we're looking to have the greater understanding. No wonder we're asking ourselves such big, profound questions. And with Venus there, it actually brings us peace. It brings us comfort. It brings us this feeling of wholeness to ask these types of questions, where in previous months and eras and time periods when Venus was in other signs, it might have been more intimidating. But here we're really open and receptive to asking those really big why and how questions. All right. When the cards conspire, you know something's up. So we have for Saturday, my instincts keep me adaptable in the face of any obstacle. This is the adapt card in the moon deck. And the reason this is funny is because on this day, Saturday, we have Uranus, which represents change. We have to be adaptable because Uranus is known for surprises. Expect the unexpected. Expect everything to be turned on its head. Uranus entering Gemini, we had a preview period in 2025. You can check my YouTube channel for videos on that. But this is a new era. This is an era of change. This is the theme for the next 7 years. This is extended. This goes beyond today. This is how we now have to approach life. So over the next few weeks, when we have Venus in Gemini, so they are co-present, we have support, we have openness, we're receptive to that connection, to the understanding, to the knowledge. But we got to stay on our toes. We got to stay on our toes as new things are coming in, as we are initiating change, as we are participating in change. Gemini being vocal, relationship-based, knowledge-based, youth-led. That's what we are focused on. Again, more details on the Uranus and Gemini transit in that forecast video. I did a deep dive in explaining the themes and some historical references so you can understand the markers and signatures for this period. But yeah, Saturday is a big day. And we also have the moon going into Virgo. So we have more Mercury energy because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So that's creating order, creating systems. So we have fundamental change. We have to stay adaptable, trust your instincts, trust your gut. Virgo has an association with the gut as well. But knowing that we can rely on our skill set and what we have learned in order to make things work. That's very much the Virgo energy. Sunday, which is the community card. My community is supportive, loving, and active in the world. No astrological events happening on the Sunday, but we are in that immediate orb. The Uranus ingress into Gemini just happened. We're still at the 0 degree point. So we have that huge beginning energy, and we still have that moon in Virgo on Sunday. So this is very much a continuum. A lot of these energies are continuing for many months, or in the case of Uranus, years. Monday, we have last quarter moon in Pisces, talk less, feel more. We're asking ourselves the question, how can I live more simply? We're stripping things down. This is a Saturn pre-shadow period. We have Saturn looking to trim. We want to let go of what is distracting us, and we want to actually have a lesser output so that we can settle in to Tuesday, where we have new moon in Cancer and the actual moon moving from Gemini, which is a communicator, into Cancer, which is a nurturer. And we're going to nurture ourselves, get comfy, cozy, and we are preparing, we are connecting from Monday into Tuesday to our intuition so that by Wednesday, we have the Hierophant card. We can receive wisdom. We can become that teacher. We can receive that teacher, get the resourcing that we need, intuitively, especially, to be able to answer that initial question from Monday of how we can live more simply. And so we're asking the question, and then we're trying to live the answer. And on Thursday, we have the 3 of Pentacles. This was a total energy shift where we have the moon in Leo, we have the Venus-Uranus conjunction. And before I had even looked into the astrology, I was explaining that this is a joyful, lighter card. We are focused on connection. So when we were living more simply and trying to play that out and receive the understanding of how to make that adjustment to our entire lifestyle, our entire way of being, it didn't mean that we're isolating ourselves. We are seeking joy. We are connecting. We are bonded through unity. So they're all holding their hands together. And the levity, that is Leo. And the change, the switch up, that is Uranus, with the connection, joy, pleasure seeking, that is Venus, all playing out in one day. And then that gets us to Friday, where we take that and we go to the next level. We have the universe. This is the biggest picture that we can get. We are connected to the highest frequency energy. We are asking ourselves on this day, how can I live my life in flow? How can I be connected to source energies? The really buoyant energy, we are going off of what happened the day prior. We're harnessing that gets us in a position where we can tap into the high frequency energy. But this isn't just a one-day situation. We want to see what this feels like, experience it, and then be able to keep that going. And the big astrological news for the Friday is Venus, pleasure, connection, relationships, values, principles, moving into Gemini. So the communicator, connected to everything. We keep that train going because we have Uranus, the planet of change, moving into Gemini. So then it is co-present yet again with Venus, but they will not conjoin in the sky. And for this, we have the Adapt card. My instincts keep me adaptable in the face of any obstacle. This is the mantra or some version of this. I am open to change. I am eager to change. I am change. Whatever we want to use. Something that reminds us that we have the Gemini information, we have the skill set, we have the knowledge, we have the connections. We have put in the work in all these other areas of life. And in Taurus, where both Venus and especially Uranus have been for quite some time, many, many years, Uranus has been in Taurus. And so now that area of stability can settle. It's been changed. That landscape, Earth sign, has been changed forever. And as we move into this new chapter over the next 7 years, we stay on our toes. We stay flexible. We rely on our gut. We rely on our intuition, everything that we have been learning, tapping into that connection to that bigger wisdom, that joy, the teachers, if we found one. And this is what we will keep doing for many, many years. This is just reflecting that turning point, that pivot. And similarly, on the same plot line, we have Sunday, the close of our week. This is the community card. My community is supportive, loving, and active in the world. We are connected. We're not even the only people that are going through this experience. That's a reminder here that so many others are going on this exact same journey. That's why this is a collective reading. And so if we're all open to change, we are listening to our intuition, our teachers, the wisdom, the higher vibrational frequency of joy and connection, of what's bigger, then we can find the long-lasting support system that we need to also have our backs. So we have our own back, we have our own resourcing, and then we have others who are on a similar journey, but who also can help support us along the way over the many years to come. When I was asking the question about how much of this story really should just be cast into years out versus this 1 week, it is years out. It is years out, and it's just because this is a really huge turning point. But if you're someone who's not really noticing or observing that you're tapped into some bigger picture and collective and all this other stuff, this can all present in a different way for you, in that you're just living more simply, you're stripping back, you're a little bit more analog, you're intentional with who you are speaking with, you are seeking out joy and connection in a way that lights you up, that makes you feel not just energized, like we're not hyper, but that we feel calm, we feel reassured, we feel purposeful and intentional, and that we are believing in ourselves, and that we are then reinforced by those who we are connected with. That can just be the really simple week-long storyline. But by and large, a lot of these themes are going to last for several weeks in the case of the Gemini transit by Venus, but also for that Uranus transit, which is lasting several years. If you're looking for the astrological storyline of what's going on with Venus and Uranus more in depth, again, those transits were happening at the tail end of this week, or you want to hear them woven into what's happened the entire month of April, those videos have been out for a few weeks now. So you can watch those on my YouTube channel and get my analysis. Plus, if you want to learn about specific transits, Many of the transits that I spoke about in the analysis video, I also wrote blurbs on my blog. They are in my 2026 Life Path calendar. So you can get a bit of a combination of all the above to understand how the rest of this month is going. If you are watching in real time today on Monday, April 20th, I have an Insight Timer class at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be offering mini one-on-one reading. So if you want to show up for an opportunity to get a free reading, please consider joining. I'll have the link in the description. But my next class will be on April 29th. So outside of the scope of what we were talking about here, but I'm actually going to be doing my May astro weather report. So I mentioned the April one a few times. I'm going to be gearing up to have that done early. So my goal for this new teaching style and format that I have is to do those weather reports just before the month ends. That way I can have all or part of, depending on the sequences that I choose, that content out on YouTube before the month even starts. So you have access to it all month long. And then, of course, if you ever want to go back, you can go back. So that will be my last class in April. And that will actually be at the same time. So April 29th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So definitely check those out. Thank you for watching. Please comment below if you have thoughts or reflections on this reading, if immediately this resonates. Something that I do is I, of course, am here. I am channeling it in real time. But then I honestly just go off and live my week. And usually around the midway point, I go back and I rewatch. Sometimes if I'm really busy, I don't watch until the end of the week, Saturday or Sunday. But I usually go back after the fact. So then I can really lock in the lessons and reflect more. So I can see maybe what I was missing because I got sucked into whatever the energy or maybe even the low vibrational side of that week. And then I can then hear myself from many days or weeks before, and I'm rewatching it and go, oh, okay. So that's what I did. And this is what I need to learn. So it can be really great to listen to these partway through the week. So you can course correct during or listening at the end or both if you want, so that you can really lock in the lessons and make sure that you are taking away what was being taught to you. Even if you didn't pick up what was energetically being put down in real time, that's okay. So yeah, consider doing that. And please give it a thumbs up if you like it, leave a comment. You can also message me on my other social media platforms if you have questions or stories that you want to share about how you are relating to any of my readings. And also because this month is rapidly coming to a close, make sure that you check out my April 2026 forecast. So you can see my blog. I have the transcript version, and I also have embedded the Insight Timer track. So you can listen on Insight Timer. You can also just listen in my blog post and hear that forecast. Same thing. We're partway through the month. We're most of the way through the month at the point that you're hearing this. And you can still check in now, or you can just bookmark it and save it for the end of April and then gear up for when the May forecast drops.